So this week's Ironman tip is race day nutrition. For those of you who are in triathlon, have done some triathlons, hadn't done Ironman yet, you understand nutrition, how important it is on race day. Ironman, it's just such a game changer. It is critical that you have a game plan for your nutrition. I'll probably do a topic on nutrition at some point in the future because it's worthy of its own little section or segment. It can be really overwhelming if you get into it and start learning about it. So, but I thought it would be good to just hit the key points about race day nutrition for those of you who have signed up maybe for Ironman and are realizing what you're getting yourself into. So a few things. I would say rule number one is to consume on race day what you train with. Okay. Do not go into race day with, somebody in setting up transition or doing before, the day before the race and, hey, you need to try this whatever. Don't try some newfangled gel or some spicy jerky stick, kind of mile 13 of the race, because you will regret it. GI issues are, I would say, one of the main reasons for Ironman DNFs. Your body's not used to it. Can't 10, 12 hours of active work, and you have too many solids in your stomach, and you just can't get there, and you just end up shutting down. So whatever you train with is what you need to use on race day. Okay, so that said, a couple of key points here. Ironman and other race organizations, if you're doing full distance with some other sanctioned group, but let's talk about Ironman. Ironman has sponsors, and last year, I think, when I did Ironman, it was Power Bars Perform liquid that they used. Now they have a contract with Gatorade. Now I'm sure this is 2018. We'll be racing 2019. I'm assuming Gatorade will still be the sponsor, and they use Gatorade Endure formula, and so that's what I train with. It's got a pretty high sugar content, and so I mix it a little bit weak, but gets the job done, and I've acquired the taste for it, and so I'm good to go. Cliff is also a sponsor, so they will have on the course Cliff gels and probably these blocks, these energy blocks. Actually have all kinds of stuff that I don't use because we're going to talk about that in a minute. I use actually goo product now, and part of the reason was Cliff gel shots. Early on, the consistency allowed you to put it into a flask and get it out of this little packet into your mouth much easier. It would go down easier. Now it's really the consistency is really thick, and it's just hard to manage, in my opinion. Goo products, they have great products. Goo the consistency is far more liquid. It's not liquid, but it's easier to digest, in my opinion. Get it out of your mouth, into your throat, and move along, because you don't want it in your mouth for very long. And it's got good numbers. Got high sodium and amino acids and some caffeine. They've got 50 different flavors, and some have caffeine, some don't. So it's you can find something that you like. These stingers. Goo also has a little stroop waffle type of product that has some all kinds of different flavors that provide calories. So you've got a lot to choose from out there. I would, back to using what you train with, you need to know what your race organization uses, who sponsors them, what they're going to have on the course, and try to adapt to those things so that you don't get caught off guard once you run out of your stuff and now you're having to use what's on the course, and your stomach may or may not like it. So the key thing about uh, using training with what you're going to use on race day is you need to think through that. You need to prepare months in advance, right? Especially in an Ironman race. You need to try different things on your training sessions, especially those long bike sessions. When you're out there 3 and 4 hours or longer at a time, experiment with different products out there, homemade things. When I did Ironman in 14, I had a honey and peanut butter sandwich that I would make the day before, the night before, put it in the fridge, and I would cut it up that morning into bite-sized squares, put it in a Ziploc. It was still cold. That honey kind of soaked into the bread, and it was the perfect little, pick-me-up, 2 or 3 hours into the ride. And it was, so you make them at home, you buy the product, whatever you do, experiment, see what your body can handle, what your stomach can handle. And over time, you'll figure out what works and what doesn't work, and then stick to that. Stick to those things that work, okay? Don't try anything new on race day. That's just a fail. Another thing that's really, really important to understand is on these, when you've got 6+ hours on the bike, that's when you need to be getting as many calories in your system as you can. So if you're going to eat solids, the bike is the time to eat them, consume them. When you get to that run, your stomach needs a lot of blood flow to properly digest food. And so if you get on the run, you start eating solids, you run the risk of major GI issues, because once you start running, your body, the blood flow goes to all those major muscle groups down in your legs, lower body. And so your stomach simply doesn't have the ability to digest properly. So once you get on the run, you need to have gone through your calorie intake from solids on the bike, and you just need to stick to your Gatorade Endure, electrolytes. They'll have sometimes they have broth or something like that. It's relatively easy on the stomach. It's liquid, but it kind of does a trick if you need some savory alternative to all the sugar. But do the solids on the bike, liquids on the run. Let's see. The goal in terms of so keep in mind on a 12, 14-hour day, you're going to consume 7,000 to 10,000 calories. Okay, you're going to be in a deficit once you get into the swim. You're not going to be able to make that up, but you're going to try to reduce that deficit by your calorie intake. So some rules of thumb: about 300 calories per hour on the bike, and the way you do that is through solids. Once you get on the run, about 200 calories an hour. I'm saying at a minimum. So you're going to end up trying to make back about half of what you burn, and the rest is going to come from your stores in your body. Glycogen and fat and protein. So it's a long day, really, really long day, and so you're going to really have to be careful about how much you consume. If you get a little lackadaisical on the bike and you skip some, because you're not hungry or you're sick of the gels, you're going to really hurt yourself on that run, because you get yourself too far into a hole and you can't get back. You end up bonking and your day is over. So to summarize, work out a plan in your nutrition and then stick to it. Okay, be really, really regimented in every training session, so that on race day you don't have to think about it. You just know what to do. Your body requires it. Okay, nutrition is considered by many people to be the fourth leg of the race, and I believe it. It's that important. So that's my Ironman tip of the week. I hope it helps.